All right, so I'm doing my control arms on my 2016 Range Rover Sport, and there's some really great videos online. There's a guy on YouTube that kind of inspired me to do it. I'm a pretty good mechanic. I didn't really want to do it though, till I got the quote, and it was a couple $1,000, and they didn't want to do all of them, and I want to do all four, two on each side. I mean, they're wore out. Why would I not want to? And I didn't really love the shop. So I thought I'd tackle it myself here in the garage. Couple things. Let me switch the camera around. I'll show you a couple things that might really help you guys out for taking this on. It's not impossible, but it's been a couple of days and I've had to run back and forth to my other shop to get some stuff to bring home. So let me see if I can help you out just a second. All right, so I did order from the other guy video on YouTube. He talked about this 36, got to have that for the nuts underneath, for the nuts that go on here. There's one of them right there. Got to have that. I didn't have at the house here a short 18. You're going to have this short 18 to get in here. You have to have that. That's the press to get it out, to pop the U-joint or tie rod end out. You're gonna have to have that. That was pretty easy to use. You're gonna have to have an impact. You're gonna have to have the big one. I couldn't do it with that. That one would not bust it loose. So I used this one. In his video, he just does this one. I don't know what they call it, whatever. The lower. He does not do that one. And that's the one making noise in my car. When I put my brakes on and stuff, my tires are starting to wear a little bit, and these are getting some. This car has 116,000 on it. It's been a great car, except for the obvious things that they suck on them. Okay, so you're gonna have to take the inner out, this part out. It's pretty easy, just a bunch of little clips and screws, not a big deal. You'll have to take it loose across the front, so it's just a little bit loose, because you're gonna have to get this with that little teeny socket I showed you. You're gonna have to pry it in here and then get it straight to get in there. That worked pretty good with this big impact. This inside, so that was that. You take that off, you take the nut off underneath here with that, and that whole arm falls right out. Super easy. Put it back in. Probably took me an hour and a half to get there. Then this one, that one is harder. And the hard part is right there with that, right there. That's the hard part. The problem is you can't get the impact on with everything in the way. And on this side, you have the nut, and it has those little clips, and they're pried against there. They're kind of like a locking nut thing where it kind of holds the nut in place. So you can't turn it from this end, and you can't get an impact on there because the frame's coming out. So you just have to hold that. I oiled them up with some bolt breaker stuff, and then what I've done is I've pried the other side I didn't. They like to kill me on the other side. This side I figured it out, so I thought I'd share this. So I've got one wrench on there. You're gonna need some big wrenches. I'm using a 24. I'm using a, what is that, a 21. I got a 21 and I got a 24, and I clipped it like that, and I put it underneath this to hold it. So that's a 12 point. So it'll hold it to 12 points. So you pry that in there so that won't move. You don't want that to move at all, because it will turn a little bit until it locks the other way. And you just don't want to do that, because you're going to be over here busting it, trying to get this busted loose. So what I did on this side was I took my 23 and I started with that 18. I started with the 18 6-point, which you'll have to have. You have to have an impact 6-point, but I also have an 18 12-point. So I broke it loose first with that, but I couldn't, it didn't give me enough leverage. So then I went like this. So I put this on here like that, and it gave me like super leverage, right? So I had this really long, that's the only way I could break it loose. And so that's kind of one of the tricks, unless you have maybe a pipe to put over that. But you're going to have a 1/2-inch breaker and an impact that's 18 to get through this job. That'll be the hardest part, what I'm doing right now. After that, it goes back together pretty easy. And you can watch the other, there's some really good YouTube videos, but I didn't see anybody talking about that. Kind of everybody just wrapped it up, and I kind of hit a wall when I got in here. So anyway, that's what I had to do. See you.